Welcome back to the Blue Wave Talk Show with your host, Duane Bluestein, and Mr. Koroun Butler.
In the house.
Man, so Flipmo Squad, Rampage.
Yeah. He's a little subdued kind of
Right,
dude, like real quiet.
right,
Real
yeah.
quiet guy.
Quiet guy, probably raps like this, real silent.
Yeah, right. Man, he brought the energy. I think the temperature in here
Just
probably
went
went
up.
up about 20, 30 degrees.
At least.
Yeah.
At least.
Oh, yeah.
I love that dude. Good play. Good play, young man. And we are going to take care of him. We're going to get him.
Almost done. You know, Blue Flame will take care of that wedding for him and anything like that.
Hey, you talking about weddings. Y'all talking about weddings. Who talks about weddings on the talk show like that?
Hey.
And, you know, this is how it goes.
Yes, yes.
All right. I want to get into society. And this right here is where a lot of our entrepreneurs and a lot of people get caught up in a bad situation.
Okay.
So a lot of times I talk about economics and everybody swears up and down that they know how to do finances. They know, oh man, if I have this money, and everybody always talks about, hey man, if I hit the lottery, I'm set.
Right.
If I were to ask you right now, tax free, I'm gonna give you $100,000 tax free right now. Mm-hmm. What would you do with it?
100,000 tax free right now. I'd give a bit to my church.
Okay. That's the tithing portion, people.
Exactly.
What you're supposed to do.
I put a portion aside in a relatively safe, and that's kind of a quirky word, but relatively safe little shelter for Naomi.
Okay.
Make sure she's good.
Naomi is his daughter, which you guys will see shortly.
Yep, she will be here. And quite frankly, I would have a little bit of fun with it.
Yeah.
I mean, when you talk about $100,000, and not to diminish, $100,000 is $100,000, but it doesn't go but so far.
It can only go so far.
I'm not changing the world with $100,000, but I'm doing what I can. I know I'd be taking a lot of the kids that I do already from the Boys and Girls Club to even more Phoenix Mercury games, because I can pigeonhole a little bit more money for that.
Right.
So it's if I got it tax free, I'm going to be looking at how I can enjoy it for me and my family, but also how I can bless somebody else, because it's all about a cycle.
Right.
It's all about a cycle.
Right. But I don't feel that enough of our society understands that.
Well, and I think it stems from an idea of, it's just like when people win the lottery, like you alluded to before. You giving somebody $100,000 is just like them winning the lottery at that moment. So they think about all the things they've ever wanted in their life that they could never have, and they go out and buy all of them.
Right.
Most people who win the lottery are broke. I want to say
15 years?
Less than that.
Yeah.
I'm talking about probably within 3 to 5 years.
Right.
Most of them are back scraping.
And is it because they don't know how to manage money, or because that dollar amount is so large that they don't even know how to conceive what they've received?
I think you don't know how to manage money. Money doesn't change you; it amplifies who you are.
Right.
So if you make $50,000 a year and you budget every week, every month, to depending on what you're going to do, you save X number of dollars, whatever like that. You adjust your scale.
Right.
If you're making $50,000 a year and you're flossing around town like you're making $100,000, so you're living a lifestyle that's double, right? Then when you get $100,000, $200,000, $1 million, you're gonna live like you got two.
Right.
It's a mindset that a lot of people who have not had a wealthy upbringing or whatever like that, they just kind of lose their minds.
Right.
And it's unfortunate because we don't have a lot of the resources in our community sometimes to teach individuals what to do when you have a little extra money.
And that's where I think that we need to do a better job on this side. I mean, we always say, well, you need to go to school and learn this. You need to go out and get with a financial advisor. I think that we need to start teaching ourselves to be able to teach others. Because for me, I was taught, if you don't have $1 million in the bank, you broke.
Right.
You're broke. So you need to manage your finances, your monies, as if you don't have anything. So a lot of times, you guys have been to a lot of my events, I try my best to barter, network, do whatever I can to be able to bring the cost down so you can maximize the dollar.
Right.
Because the problem is, people will say, all right, I got a sponsor, and we talk about sponsors all the time. I got a sponsor that gave me $100,000. Well, the goal is not to spend the $100,000 on the event. The goal is to be able to capitalize on that $100,000, maximize the whole event to bring it as low as possible, and then take the profit to start your company, your business, whatever you're doing with that money that you said you're going to do. But people think that once they receive it, they're supposed to spend it.
Well, and there's a definition of, I think, a definition of wealth a lot of times to get lost. And, write this down, okay? Wealth is how long you would be able to subsidize your current lifestyle if you no longer contribute another dollar.
Not
if
another
you never
dollar.
contributed another dollar, how long could you continue to live at the level you're at?
Right.
If you say, you're squared away till 90 at your current level without ever putting another dollar in, then, teach us. Teach everybody.
But if you, and there are a lot of people's mindsets that way. In my family's mindset is, it's not about you. Mm-hmm. It's not about you. If I could live till I was 90 and didn't have to put another dollar in and I was set, I'm still wrong, because I'm supposed to live a legacy for my kids. Mm-hmm. So when people say, oh, I got enough for me and to take care of me, that's not my philosophy, but I understand that people need to grow their minds from there.
But when I say that, though, when I say the subsidize my lifestyle, my family is part of my lifestyle.
Okay.
My faith is part of my lifestyle. My philanthropic efforts are part of my lifestyle. So when I say my lifestyle, I'm not saying, as long as I know I can continue to have my house, my car, and everything, as long as I can do everything that I do that's important to me, which encompasses all those things, we push all that forward. But you're right, there are a lot of people who are just concerned about themselves, and with my daughter, what we do for her, and what we set aside for her, and this and the other. I want to leave a legacy, but I want to leave a legacy of hard work, as well. So because I know that as much as I hated growing up, struggling, and being from the projects in Philadelphia and all that built the character of who I am and the work ethic that I currently have. And I think a lot of times, in an effort to try to make sure that we take care of the next generation, a lot of them, we spoil them.
Yes.
And then they don't have those ideals, that hustle, that drive that you have. I mean, you probably you operate off of 3.5, 4 hours worth of sleep most days, and if you can get it. But most people are like, if they get 8 hours of sleep, they tired all day. You know what I'm saying? So you got to kind of teach that. I call it responsible indulgence. Mm-hmm. You give a little, and then you make them work a little. Right. So and if you do that, they're going to be all right.
And as long as they work, I mean, a lot of times they are so spoiled to the point where we didn't want to listen to them anymore, so we just gave them whatever they wanted. Mm-hmm. And for us, I was spoiled enough to know that I want that. Mm-hmm. I mean, we had a lot of cool things growing up, and I always said, I want that. But I knew that I needed to put in the work. So until I put in the work to receive, to reciprocate the funds that are supposed to be, I just keep working. So until I hit that certain goal, that number, I'll never stop. That's why I stay busy all the time.
I took my 6-year-old to Disney for fall break.
Yeah, okay? I saw that. It was great. Pictures are great.
Everything that she decided she wanted to buy, because she conveniently forgot to go on her piggy bank before we left.
Smart girl.
Well, I kept in my notepad on my phone.
In your receipts.
When we got home, she went into her piggy bank and she paid me back everything that I told her she needed to pay me back. Because she has to understand that just because you don't have a job, if you're getting some money in, I'm not going to buy everything for you. Sometimes you got to use some of your own money to get the things that you really want.
Teaching them.
And she came back, and first thing she said when we got in the house is, "Let me look at my piggy bank so I can pay you back." Right. I said, "That girl, she's on track."
Right. No debt, because that's what we're looking for. We're looking for our kids to understand how to deal with the debt ceiling that is out of control.
Yeah.
Dick Gregory said the other night, he said, if you're not a trillionaire, you broke. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to bring this up because we brought it up earlier. Are we clouded about racism, that it's about color, or is it about the haves and have-nots?
I think it's about the haves and the have-nots, and unfortunately, though the haves and have-nots had been divided for so long along color lines, that it was kind of which came first, the chicken or the egg kind of thing. There are when you look at the numbers, and you look at the number of people living below the poverty line. You know, a lot of times you could have a wealthy, say, Caucasian person that had somebody who was, you know, living in a trailer park, and they might step over them just like they would step over a black, you know, a black person living in the slums of Philadelphia, whatever. So I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, and there's always going to be that separation, unfortunately, of the haves and have-nots, and we're trying to bridge that gap as much as possible, so it's not as pronounced, so that we can bring these different groups together.
Right. Because that is when I heard him say that, I was like, I get it, because the Jay-Z's, the Diddy's, those type of individuals aren't being. I'm trying to figure out the last time that it was a racial slur thrown at me for me to go like this. Ooh, I mean, you have the innuendos and all that kind of stuff, but nothing that has really come at you like that. It's about how much money you got and what you doing. I mean, because there's a lot of people out there trying to get to that next level.
Well, I think you know, racism is a lot more than just a racial slur.
Right.
And I think, you know, one of the things that I found is, you know, I lived in North Carolina for 4.5 years, and I joke with a lot of people and I say, you know, I respected the ignorance there sometimes because you knew who the enemy was, so to speak. You had people coming up from South Carolina, you know, flying the Confederate flag and made no qualms about letting you know. And this is just in 94, 95, 96, whatever.
I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana, the home of the...
Right. So you get it. So I think what happens a lot of times is when you live in areas that end up with a certain level of diversity, the racism has to kind of take a back seat. It's not quite as overt.
Right.
But a lot of times it's still there.
Right.
And it's just a matter of, you know, it's just not quite as obvious.
Right. Hey, listen, we are on the Blue A Talk Show with your host, Duane Bluestein, and my guy, Koroun Butler.
Hey.
Coming up in a second, we're going to bring Miss Naomi up to on the camera because we want to bridge the gap. We always talk about bridging the gap, and we always talk about we reach back and want to help our kids, and we talked about helping our baby boomers and everything like that, but I want to introduce that this is just not a show about grown folks just talking and how we can get better. I want to show that we actually care about our youth and what we do and how we put all of this stuff together. So can we have that wonderful young lady that come up and look at her? She's so grown. Tell the people hi.
Hi.
How you doing? How are you?
Good.
You good? Tell the people, follow us on the Blue Way Talk Show.
See it.
Follow us on the Blue Way Talk Show.
See, that's how we do. This is a young diva in training right here. She has been at, how many tastings have you been at? The kitchen tastings.
3, I think.
3.
3?
Yeah.
You've been taking all the pictures. When you come to the tasting and you see her, she's taking the pictures, and they actually are good pictures. Did you have fun when you come over? Yeah? So what grade are you in? First. So what is your favorite subject?
Swimming.
You like to swim? Are you good? You know how to swim?
She's very good. She swims better than I do. She's a very...
Really?
I mean, she's backstroke, breaststroke. You know, I mean, she can float for days. What other you know, types of, you know, swimming? Do you know any other names that you do?
You said reading in the other room. Do you like to read? Yeah? Is it a fun subject?
Yes.
Yeah?
She reads us every night, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
Listen, this is one of the great things about it is this gentleman right here, I mean, I watch him on a consistent, and this is what it's about right here. This is what I'm always looking out for everybody to say, look, this is the connection that we need. And this gentleman you go to Mercury games all the time, right?
Who's your favorite player?
Duane Butler.
Miss Bonner, come on the show because you got a fan.
Yes,
But you have her autograph, right?
Autograph, picture with her, everything.
Yeah. Listen, we love it, and we're helping out the Boys and Girls Club, helping out young individuals like this, learning history, learning credit, learning about economics, learning about everything. You got anything you want to say to the people before we go?
No.
Nothing? Listen, you tell them right now. Say subscribe to the Blue Way Talk Show.
To the Blue Way Talk Show.
With your host, Duane Bluestein. And my guy, Koroun Butler, in the house on the Blue Way Talk Show. Please subscribe. Peace. Hey, Shelly, get better. Hurry. Well, don't hurry and get back, but get back. We'll see you soon.